Check out my second channel Bob Knob for daily memes. r/AskReddit. Serious, dark web users of Reddit. Was there ever a point in your use that you felt you were genuinely in danger? What happened? I've never personally felt I was in actual danger, so to speak, since I take proper precautions. But early on I did accidentally come across a site forum while exploring that was filled with snuff photos of women people had assaulted and then knocked out or killed. Shut down my browser pretty quick after that, but felt uneasy for a long time after. Don't frequent it a lot, but once I accidentally left my browser in full screen and a stranger in a chat room asked me if my curved monitor was nice. Freaked me out a bit. I was once in an anonymous chat room with a made up name and all that. A guy DM me and ask what's it's like to live in the city I did. I note the duck out of there. It's actually very easy to get an IP address, and by extension a general geographical location of anyone using a chat site that utilizes a page 2p connection. When I was younger I used to hop onto anonymous chat sites and screw with people by asking them stuff like that, lol. Webcam turned itself on once. That was scary. I immediately unplugged it and my network cable. Ran 3 complete scans of my system for malware and viruses. Found nothing. Hasn't happened since. A bit of electrical tape over the camera pinhole works wonders. Had a buddy who used to order weed. The distributor got busted and the postal service let him know there was a suspicious package for him. He could either pick it up or it would be destroyed. Did he go to receive the package? The idea that the dark web is an extremely shocking and dangerous place is largely inaccurate. It's mostly weird libertarian blogs and very sterile Amazon type websites for drugs, complete with reviews of different vendors. Came across a Chan style site. Every post was about trains. Wouldn't say I felt in danger, but I felt so out of the loop that I was missing something that I just got off. 1chan, they just like trains. It's a hobbyist image board. I own a fairly rare car that had a rare error code. I looked it up on Google and there was only one other person on the car makers forum that had the same error. And this guy took months and months going back and forth between car shops and the forum thread to try to get the issue fixed. Everyone on the forum was pitching in to try to help him. So I kept going through this long forum thread to try to figure out if he ever fixed it, and suddenly there's no more replies from the guy. Everyone was scratching their heads for a while. We thought he had maybe gotten the issue fixed and didn't bother to update us on it. Then one day, a news article popped up about a really rich guy who died in a Thai jail cell. And then we connected the two stories and they matched up. The same make and model of the car in the news article matched up with his car, and they were both claiming to be in Thailand at the time. So what happened was that same guy who was still talking on the forums got raided by the Thai police around the same time he stopped replying to the forum. Turns out that he was running one of the biggest dark web marketplaces where drugs were being sold and exchanged. It had something like $1 million in revenue per day and he was hiding out in Thailand while living in luxury. They found him dead in his jail cell a few days later. They claim he died of suicide. I once bought a bit of weed and I received a blackmail letter threatening me with awful things, like sending CP and calling the police if I didn't send one BTC, $1,000 at the time. I was scared shitless but nothing ever happened. Always check the reviews before buying anything. Damn boy, should have invested in Bitcoin. You don't just stumble onto the scary parts of the dark web. You had to have been looking for something sinister if you happen to come across one of the sites. Even then, getting access to said sites isn't as easy as most of them are invite based. Most of it is just the normal internet with questionable forums. Think 4chan but slightly worse, and petty drugs. It's very hard to reach the criminal parts of the dark web unless you have very specific URLs, and even then the host has the option to deny you access. However, once you're in, it can become a slippery slope. Accidentally stumbled upon some CP once. Noped out pretty fast but was still worried for weeks the FBI would come after me. The worst thing is, you can stumble across that shit on regular porn sites. 2. I stumbled across some pics once on one of the more well-known sites, and there was no ducking visible option to report it. I don't think I've ever been so disgusted in my entire life. There's hitmen, human trafficking and snuff films and such, but a vast majority of these sites are scams asking you to send them Bitcoin. A small portion of users on the dark web would be there for this sort of stuff. However, buying drugs online is quite popular and widespread. Single vendors can have $500,000 plus in lifetime sales. It's quite safe to use. You use PGP to encrypt your address so only the seller of the drugs has access to your private info. If your package is seized, they have no proof you ordered it unless they seize your computer and you have that information stored on it. You can use Tails USB to avoid this. Even if your packages get seized, you'll often get a love letter saying what they seized and there is no follow-up after that. Be safe, boys and girls. Don't give out your information or communicate with others. And if you plan on purchasing anything, use a secure Linux OS like Tails. Use private keys. Connect to a public Wi-Fi spot, not your house. Encrypt all messages. Use multi-signature markets so your chances of losing your Bitcoin lessens. Escrow preferably. Never send your Bitcoins from a wallet attached to you directly to the seller. Tumble your coins first. And when the package arrives, don't open it for a few days. A friend of mine gave me all this info and told me I should help you guys out. The scariest moment for me was when I stumbled upon a creepy URL and thought it was something much more sinister, until I found out it was just an URL. The dark web isn't really that scary. It has been romanticized and exaggerated by creepypastas, TV shows and etc. Edit. I know stuff like the Red Room and CP exist on the dark web. It's just that it is not that common. Most are scams or require a membership. The common user won't find much, but you will find something really off-putting if you dig enough. In college, some friends and I ordered a 100 sheet of acid using Bitcoin to our college PO boxes. We got pretty terrified when it didn't arrive when it should have. We thought it was found by USPS, our own mail service, or the D. We were paranoid. Turns out they just shipped it later than they said. We got our 100 tabs, but that was a very stressful week and a half for all of us. A friend of mine used to use Silk Road on the darknet when Bitcoin was $10 a pop. He placed at least 100 orders through it and never had any issues. It's a shame he didn't keep all the Bitcoin he bought because he would have been a millionaire now. Dark web ain't scary B. I once bought a big crate of cup noodles for a cheap price. One time I got twice the amount of drugs that I actually ordered. Was paranoid for about 2 hours and then I just got really high and it was fine. Once a friend ordered a sample pack of 10 pills from a new vendor and got shipped 1k pills. Everyone who ordered got a surprise. This led to friend's devastating addiction to Xanax, which led to black tar and meth, which led to a rock bottom that you only read about. He's been clean and off the dark web for 4 years now though. I was trying to buy those super cool laser pointers and I got a random message saying I know where you live. I noped out of that site straight away. Not drugs, not a fake passport, a cool looking laser pointer. Respect. The only real difference between the internet you and I are using right now and the dark web is that you need special software or configurations to access it. You have plenty of opportunities of finding bad shit on the regular web. With that in mind, I'd say that the regular web is more dangerous since it lulls you into a sense of security. I mean, most people these days have a significant amount of their personal information on there. The dark web, you're likely going to have a sense to be more anonymous. Personally, I just used it for playing a WoW private server back in the day since the hosts didn't want to get a C&D from Blizzard. IDK if it was the dark web but accidentally came across a website that was basically just Pornhub but for gore. I saw a couple seconds of a man with his hands already chopped off getting his face peeled off by some sort of cartel and noped the duck out. I had to take a break from the internet for a couple of days. So I had ordered many times on the dark web, but one day I decided to place a rather large order of XTC pills from Europe to the USA. I had a terrible feeling in my gut after the order was placed and actually had some serious food poisoning or something that night, lol. Cut to weeks later, I ended up getting arrested for the pills and entering the worst time of my entire life. Religious Silk Road and CGMC user here. I used to get the stuff delivered to my dorm, but the package didn't come directly to my room. I had to go pick it up from my dorm building office. For my third or fourth order from Silk Road, I got an email saying that a package had arrived for me, but when I went to pick it up I was told by a RA that my package was in the door's office. I was freaked out. I also for some reason was getting a lot of spam calls, which added to my anxiety. I was scared shitless. I didn't go to pick it up for like 4 days and kept getting emails from the door to come pick it up. I didn't go because I thought that it was a setup. But after a couple days I said duck it because I had paid a lot of BTC for that order, so I went to pick it up. It was literally nothing. The people holding onto my order couldn't have been more nicer. They couldn't give me a reason why that package was delivered there and not to my dorm. So I just kept ordering more lol. Edit. The package was usually delivered by USPS Priority, which is ran by the federal government, and I went to a state university. So technically the federal government transported illegal goods to the state government for me LMAO. My friends and I were once ordering some green off the dark web. On the way, we saw a dude selling cyanide. Don't ask me how I got it. Don't tell me what you'll use it for. Violation of either condition will void the sale. Not dark web, but mid-90s web. I was 12, and obviously puberty was in control. This was chat room days. Kid I was acquainted with, an Eagle Scout nonetheless, had all these floppy, and I mean floppy disks full of pornographic images from some a-hole supposedly in Texas. Me and a few other friends were over puberty, so were eager to see naked women. It soon took a quick turn with girls that were likely my age. I immediately noped the duck out and never really talked to the kid again. But knowing the Boy Scouts, I wasn't getting involved. But I was like 13 and didn't even wanna tell my mom I was interested in women. I regret that day a lot. I should have called the police. Sadly I just compartmentalized it. 1996 was weird. Someone who isn't me was on a drug marketplace once, where heroin, crack cocaine, sometimes PCP are listed, but if you're experienced, you don't even bat an eye. What that person did see once were pills pressed from the residue powders that ostensibly covered the press. These included mixtures of meth, fentanyl, Xanax, Molly, amphetamines, GHB. Shit is scary because you have no idea what exact ratios the mixture will be composed of, and with heavy hitting, high OD potential drugs like fentanyl, everyone wouldn't be surprised if that particular listing led to multiple overdoses. Every time, remember that the person you just bought drugs from knows your address, that you have drugs in your house. There's probably evidence of dark web use in your finances, computer/trash. They can rat you out with impunity just because they're feeling malevolent. They also could just get caught and be careless with destroying ex-customer information. So it hangs over my head to this day. Not really, it's just sometimes some creepy shit on the dark web forums. I have seen more disgusting things on 4chan. To be honest, other than that you have to be specifically searching for that shit, and even then it's hard AF. There is no one search engine but many and with different results. The dark web is general dull. Most of the site is just for dealing drugs, other than it's dull. Not to say that there is not some interesting site on there. I've used the dark web once or twice. Scariest thing was when my screen went black for a few moments and turned back on. Wasn't anything big, just my display cable ducking up, but it did give me the creeps. As for dark or disturbing shit, I've only found a list of random addresses. The dark web really has a lot of stigma associated with it. For the most part it's just people curious about the dark web or people trying to scam you or sell you drugs. You have to do a lot of looking to find the really ducked up stuff. You're more likely to find dark web type crap on Reddit or YouTube than the actual dark web. I found a chat room advertised as true free speech platform. All political opinions welcome to discussion. I thought I could go there to debate with Nazis who were willing to say whatever they want without repercussion. It was really just a place to post child porn. Nothing but child porn. Every user was sending links to 3 or 4 pictures at a time, or commenting on pictures the rest of them sent. There were dozens of users. I disconnected my laptop from the internet and deleted my Tor browser. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.